Alright, if you give me a quick sync point. Did you just cock a rifle as a sync point?
It's Glock, but yes.
That'll work.
I have the bolt action right next to me. I could go for that, but it's a bit awkward.
Hello and welcome to Proof of Concept, the podcast where things go a little off the rails. Welcome to episode 13. It's been a while, hasn't it, lads? Unfortunately.
Nice way to assume my gender.
Oh, you can't use that joke. I'm the only non-cis person here. That's my thing.
How
my
dare you?
dick.
I don't tell people.
Yeah, all right, fine. Well, yeah.
Lost.
Welcome
We
to
just-
episode 13, where we finally get cancelled. It's been a hot minute. In that hot minute, and unfortunately, we have permanently lost Paran. Paran has moved on to do his own podcast. He will be on there, and we will hopefully have him back on someday. There's no hard feelings in that, but he has died off screen. But in the meantime, who do we have on today? In the top left is me. Hello, I'm Alex, and I'm me. Dalen, if you want to go next.
Dalen, I am the other human that one of the others.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
rest aren't humans, actually. It's just me and Dalen. Tyler and Abby completely,
That explains a lot if you think about it.
Tyler, if you could introduce yourself.
They already know who I am, unless I'm not as important as I think I am, but
What
they'll
if this is the
figure it
first
out.
episode they listen to, Tyler? You got to think that through.
They'll figure it out. I mean, I'm clearly not you two. You've introduced yourself, and I don't think they're going to confuse me with Abby. My tits aren't that great.
Are you talking about the tits on my arm or the tits?
You'll have to pay attention.
I've stroked out of this conversation. I think I'm back.
No, I was just looking at the.
This might be our worst intro yet.
Anyway, Abby.
I'd just like to clarify that point. The picture I've chosen today, you can clearly see the mermaid on my arm has a cracking. Yeah. But yeah,
can you guys
I'm
smell
Abby.
burnt toast.
I hadn't looked that closer before, but yeah.
Oh, when we were at Goodwood, we had a solid half-hour conversation as she explained to this fella next to us all the alcohol tattoos she had all over, and I'm sat there as a non-drinker going, "Yep, I'm here."
I'm just saying, not a single tattoo I have has tits on it, and now I'm disappointed.
See, the original drawing of this tattoo, she was quite flat-chested, and I was like, no, she's going on my arm. She must
Make
have
that shit
ginormous.
voluptuous.
She needs dump truck tits.
They're right in front of you, and they open very large doors.
And she's also, although you can't see it in that, got a rather large fishy posterior. She's a very
Basically, the
curvy
mermaid is
mermaid.
stacked.
Yeah.
Talking of being stacked, that doesn't work as a segue at all, but I'm moving on to the news. Again.
Oh, you sound so much better.
Oh my god. Alright, let's start again.
Remember when you said this was going to be a quick one? Yeah, fuck you.
I haven't even started yet. It's already been an hour.
Right. Okay, so welcome to episode 13, where there's no such thing as safe, and also there's no such thing as a consistent audio recording where either me or Dalen are able to survive for long enough. Anyway, so this week we have the concept of safety. Now, throughout the years, there's been many safety concepts sort of brought to table that are various levels of effective. And because we have lost our previous compatriot, the theme of today is which of these ridiculous concepts is the one that killed off our compatriot off screen. As we knew we'd have to do this at some point. So, today we're going to figure out which of these killed off Paran. And we're going to start off with Dalen, I believe. Dalen, what am I looking at here?
This is the 1958 Survival.
Right.
was designed by Walter C. Jerome of Worcester, Mass.
Worcester, Mass.
Based on a Hudson, has sliding side doors, a driver's seat in the middle of the car, when located in the turret 3 feet above the rest of the passenger compartment, intended to isolate the driver and minimize distractions. The driver's windshield is circular and constantly rotates with felt strips on both sides of the glass to keep it constantly clean, hopefully negating the need for windshield wipers. Passenger
I
compartment
don't know
has
if he's ever seen how felt works in water, but that's not gonna.
No, it's not.
Passenger compartment has a padded interior, seat belts, a built-in roll cage. Both ends of the car have rubber bumpers to minimize damage and low-speed impacts. And it's front-wheel drive. The front axle is fixed with headlights that are also fixed. The entire front of the car tilts, much like some articulated tractors or like a wheel loader.
Bendy bus.
This is
Yeah,
the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
You steer the car by tilting the entire front of the car side to side. This has maintains perfect alignment in the front axle, has the headlights pointed in the direction you're turning, and the other goal of this was the tilted section allowed for if there was a side impact, someone T-boned you, the car would bend around the other car and get rid of some of the force that would be put into the occupants.
All right, so a lot to unpack here.
Mm-hmm.
For a start, do you remember that one episode of Top Gear where they built their own car?
Yes.
It definitely looks nicer.
Yeah, I feel like this is the version of that car they built from Fallout. It is an odd
Yeah,
looking
it
thing.
does. It does have strong Fallout vibes.
Yeah, but also so effectively you're driving a car from the trailer. That's effectively what we're doing here, right?
Mm.
Does this not mean that you'd immediately oversteer for everything you do? Like you go, oh well, I have to turn. So you turn. You're still not turning it. So you put more. Oh, now I'm turning way too far.
Too sure how it was articulated in the middle, but as far as I can tell, though, it wasn't trailing it. Like the front axle does not steer. The whole center section of the car pivots, so you're forcing the action where the front of the car is pointing still. And that's how it steers.
This seems like a
Yeah, articulated tractors don't steer. Well, I mean, they steer like shit, but they don't steer worse than you would assume.
This looks like it's just overcomplicated and would actually make you a really bad thing to drive. I feel like this would be really, really difficult.
I just want
I
to know
imagine anytime
how...
it's in an accident, it breaks in half and you die in a fire.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
How often were people being T-boned that they needed this?
They intended to build a limited production run of between 10 and 12 cars at $10,000 each. Adjusted for inflation, that is $102,517.65.
But
I can save you 102,000 or whatever, and just
I will
walk.
cut the front off your Geo Metro, and I will put a bendy straw between the two. Right, the guy's head's in a dome. If you hit it in a side, look, he like that is.
So what happens when you roll it over? Does it just compress your spine?
I mean, that was every car from the time, but also like his head is just going to bounce
It
off everything.
It claims to have a roll cage, but I don't see the main hoop doesn't go over the dome, as far as I know.
So the driver is sacrificial.
Yes.
Hang on, when did you say this was made?
I think it was initially it was brought to the public in 1958. I think the design started right after World War II.
So this is flat out in the age of danger glass, which your head is now encased in at very close proximity.
Yes.
But,
Right.
what I can't work out is if you're T-boned, this is the thing that they're trying to make it safe against. If you're T-boned, surely the driver from the force of the impact is going to be pushed, so his head's going to get stuck in the dome, and he's just going to be decapitated.
Yeah, but not just that. If you notice, I don't think there's a
No. See,
seatbelt
it's
there,
a feature, not a design. You won't be horribly injured. You'll just be dead.
I mean, it's a painless death. I mean, you'd be guillotined. Oh God, this seems like
he's going to be decapitated.
It all makes perfect sense now. You can't be crippled if you're dead.
I do kind of appreciate that in the 50s.
I think they succeeded.
In the 50s, you could just have any old idea and just go, hey, let's do some silly bullshit. And everyone would go, yeah, right. like a turbine car or a weird half tank, half Fallout 4 turny twisty thing. I mean, the rubber bumpers make
So-
sense.
Popular Mechanics magazine actually published this car and thought it was a good idea.
Yeah, they also wrote an article about how to dispose of oil by digging a hole next to your fence and dumping it in the ground.
Yes,
Yeah,
that was probably the same issue, to be honest.
the 50s were a different time.
Well,
Also,
I think American 50s were just different.
I mean,
like-
again, they had jet turbine cars. They were doing this.
Yeah. We were busy just, surviving off barely any food and just about getting sugar back
The weird thing is when you make a lot
and
of money
coronating
off,
someone.
when you make a lot of money as a country off of wartime munitions sales, that does make a lot of sense.
Mm.
Arms dealer of the world, baby.
We didn't have sugar, and you lot were like making weird shoe-shaped cars.
This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Just wait.
How do you even change the front wheels? Look, I've just noticed the front wheels. Like, not only are they enclosed, there is no like serviceable hatch there. How the hell do you even get them off?
To be
You
fair, the
just pull
50s
them
was a
off.
dangerous time. I think they planned on this car being totaled long before you needed a tire.
Well, guess what? Most recent finding I can find, this thing still exists. It is in the garage of the son of the guy who built it.
Purely because they only built one and nobody wanted one because it's the dumbest thing possible. I
Yeah.
just realized they put the indicators on the roof.
Yes. And also a third headlight up there.
I mean, there are.
Yeah.
I will be fair. There's some things here that make sense, like the two lights that turn with the wheels. That's fairly sensible. That's about it. Though.
Just make the headlights turn. Don't make the whole front of the car
In
move.
fairness to them, you couldn't do that in the US at the time. That's actually why pop headlights is such a thing, because the US mandated like a weird. I mean, you guys would know more about this than I would, but it's like you had to have a certain shape and size headlight that you couldn't distinguish from.
Yeah,
So-
for a while they had to be legally the round ones of a certain size, and they had to be the square ones, and it was a
Yeah.
pain in the ass.
So if you look at the French built the Citroen DS and the Citroen SM, they had swiveling headlights that were really revolutionary for the time. And America, they just got these really horrible versions where it was just circles, because that's just how you met US safety standards at the time, which is just a weird standard, and it made a lot of their cars look worse. But yeah, this is dumb. And like it's
I
got
like it, but it's dumb.
For comparison on that price they wanted to sell this for, a Cadillac Series 62 was $5,000.
and this was 10,000.
Yes.
So this is what, Ferrari money at the time? Actually, I can tell you what. This is, as I know, in 62, the Aston Martin DB5 was about $6,000 because they were underselling it and they were afraid that Goldfinger was going. I've been watching a lot of James Bond stuff this week. Don't ask. But you could have a DB5 and a bit, or you could have one of these. I would just put the
I'd
other
rather die in a DB5.
No, you can just buy a DB5 and then buy the front half of another DB5, glue it to the front. Oh god, this is terrible. Who thought this was a good idea?
I don't know, but good news is he's dead.
Did he die in his car?
I was going to say that. I imagine.
Age.
I'm like, if you get T-boned, right? I'm just trying to picture. So the thought is that it'll pivot. So if someone crashes into you, it's gonna like bend around the car, right? That's the thought process.
I understand we want to dissipate energy in an accident, but there's an effective way to dissipate energy, and then there's like the ragdoll break your neck type shit, and that's this.
Yeah, that's. God,
Often were people getting T-boned that they needed to make a car specifically for that type of accident.
I mean, it was the 50s.
It
Howard
doesn't
Hughes
make any
complicated.
sense.
We are going to do
Crashing
an episode on Howard
planes.
Hughes at some point. That's going to be one of the bonus episodes of it. Oh god. Right. So obviously we have a science-based rating on this. I'm just stealing from every podcast I listen to now. Where in which we rate each of these. So Abby, seeing as you haven't brought a concept this week, we'll let you be the judge. On a scale of 1 to 10, how dead is Paran from this crash?
What sort of crash is he having in this?
Literally
And
any
where
crash
is
at
he in the
all.
car?
This seems like it's going to kill you no matter what crash you have. Because if you have a head-on collision and your car is anything other than straight, you are just going to like flop around at the back.
I hope the front breaks off and Ghost rides away like a ship that's split
That
in
would be the
half.
funniest thing in the
The other-
world.
That was the other part of it too. The entire
takes out a
drivetrain
family
is
watching
in
it.
the front half of the car.
Say that again.
So if it pinches the throttle cable on the way out, it's just going to ghost ride into a family and kill them.
Yes.
Sorry. Can you just you just at a family picnic, and next thing you just see the front of this car just comes across the field in the background. Just what the hell?
I just figured out the plot for the first Alex Twin Spark movie.
Oh, do you know that horror film about a tire that goes rogue?
Yeah, we got the whole front of a car, bitch.
Yeah, we recreate that, but it's just the front of this car just going. But it's on like a really jolly journey where it's like, oh look, it finds love and it you know.
Where everyone dies in the background, like only destruction is like,
It just doesn't.
but it's
Okay.
unaware of it.
So I'm going to imagine a situation where Perrin is in this car. He's driving the car. He's been T-boned by a lorry, and he's rolled it as well. So not only has he been decapitated, he's been rolled. I'm going to say like he's 10 out of 10 dead. You can't get more dead.
It's 10 out of 10. It's a strong start there, David. God, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
He's
Also,
10 out of 10 dead.
there's a lot of fiberglass in this, a lot of lead paint.
Oh
Yes. So if you don't die in a crash, you're going to die from lead.
Hang on, not just that. So hang on, we've got danger glass, we've got lead paint, and it's the 50s, so leaded gasoline. Your brain is
And
turning to
asbestos.
mush. Yes.
Asbestos.
asbestos all through this thing.
See, asbestos is fine so long as you don't break it. So it would be all hunky dory
It will be
until
very
you
had a
had a
crash.
crash.
Yeah. Joe, one of my absolute
Yeah.
favourite things, so there's a genuine theory now that because the way boomers are, there's a genuine belief that a big reason as to why is purely because there was so much lead in the air in the 50s, 60s and 70s that it has genuinely caused them irreparable, like, brain damage. Purely because of things
You know,
like
to be
this.
fair, there's still a lot of lead in the air because avgas is leaded.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, but
I love a
You're
bit of
not
lead
like-
poisoning.
you're not licking lead paint like in your crib anymore.
Speak for yourself. I live in a thing built in the 40s. My life is just asbestos and lead.
Look, it's Tyler. We wouldn't be surprised if he was just licking lead paint for the sake of it.
I have passed out intoxicated on that thing many times.
I could actively see Tyler licking lead paint to spite God. That's a very in keeping with Tyler's motives on life, I believe.
I know what I'm doing this afternoon.
Can I just say though, in regards to the survival, this is dumb. I'm sure we're all in agreement. This is the dumbest thing possible, right?
Mhm.
It's the 300% mortality rate of surgeries of cars.
Yeah, but I kind of
Almost as bad
appreciate
as the
it.
Dymaxion. Well, actually, this thing never actually had a confirmed kill. The Dymaxion did.
But the thing with this is,
Yeah, that was impressive.
I kind of appreciate this is that weird 1950s optimism of the future where it's like, hey, I've got all these ideas. Like, all right, things like big rubber bumpers, actually, that makes sense. The headlights that move with the turn, the wheels, that also makes like sense. This
No, he took the bumper car approach. It's like a rubber bumper all the way around the perimeter of the car.
yeah, like
It needs a little antenna sticking off the back to touch the, really electrified ceiling that you shouldn't jump and touch.
Yes.
But it's one of those things where you look at it and I can appreciate where he's coming from, and it's that weird 1950s optimism where it's like, hey, we've got all this idea because we've had like a big influx of technology really quickly, and we're really excited about it, and I can kind of appreciate that from that aspect. But I can also look at this and go, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's the car for
Okay.
Homer, but worse. Oh. Yeah, I'm agreeing with Abby. This is a very 10 out of 10 dead. I know only Abby's is the only vote that counts here, but oh god, this is mega death.
She's 10 out of 10 dead. Like, you ain't walking away from that.
Again, though, being dead is preferable to being crippled in this case. Like, I would not want to see the type of crippled I would be from this car. So I think it's a plus side.
Paraplegic?
Weren't you?
I would
really
be a terrible
I was gonna say-
Probably quadriplegic, actually. You'd probably break the neck above the shoulders, so yeah.
I was gonna say
yeah.
yeah, because that dome is because you haven't got a seatbelt. Look, there's no belts holding in place from right until there. That
You haven't got a neck belt there,
It
so
said to use seatbelt, but I don't know what kind of seatbelt. It was probably just a lap belt.
you were flat out being whipped out of that, and your neck is being broken against that dome. That oh god.
unless you
How
see
bad did that dome
before
have
it
to leak?
happens,
That is a spinning dome on the top of the car with felt seals. That thing had to be a shower in there if you drove it in the rain.
Plus, if you had to stop at all, you were going to headbutt your windscreen every time.
yeah.
Imagine hitting a pothole and just busting your windshield with your face.
Again, this reminds
There's a
me
lot
of the Top
perfect
Gear
head-shaped
car.
holes. I know what I'm saying. It's like the Top Gear car, but from the 50s. Like it's
Yeah, with the little plastic
it's the
box roof.
it's the Hammerhead iJeff or whatever they called it.
Why the fuck was this not pitched as a Pope Mobile though?
True.
Because they don't want the Pope to die.
No, this is how he drives around and waves to people. You make that a bulletproof
Yeah.
glass roof
He
because,
doesn't
as
drive
Kennedy would
it.
prove in a few years, that's a problem. But you know,
He doesn't drive it. What you do is
we're missing an opportunity. The Pope could drive around and run people over.
You take this bonnet off the front here, and you put a little man called Giuseppe in there, and he has to pedal like furiously, and he does all the driving from the front for the Pope, who sits in the back, and through this tiny Dalek-looking slit in the roof, gets to wave at people from there. It looks like a tank. It looks like a 50s like sci-fi tank.
I'm just confused.
There is no artillery involved in this project.
Oh.
Anyway, which is the next car that's going to kill Perrin?
Okay, the next car that killed Parent is Tyler's choice, I believe. So, Tyler, take it away.
Hang on. Let me do a shot real quick, and then I'll explain this to you.
Are we having a pause for a moment?
No, I think...
No, it's okay. I'm doing this live.
Oh. I wanted to take my bra off.
I mean, you can.
You
I
can
can't.
while I'm talking. It's okay. I'm going to get drunker as we go here.
That's
So, I know we were supposed to pick terrible concepts, but I saw this as a safety concept, and this clearly led to some design cues to my favorite Volvo ever made, the C30. Best hatchback ever built. Fight me. Anyway,
It is a better
but it does
focus.
have some properly terrible, just terrible options on it, okay? So what you're looking at here is a 2001 Volvo SCC, which is the safety concept car. Now, what Volvo decided is you need to open your fucking eyes when you drive. So they took a giant move towards increasing visibility with this car.
Which I appreciate, because modern cars are shit to see out of.
But this one is not. So like that roof line that just sweeps back and is all just, oh, it's perfect. That was started on here. So when you look over your shoulder, you don't have that blind spot. So the B pillar's in the rear and sucked in. Then you got that big back window that just, oh, I fucking love the way that car looks. I need to buy one. Anyway, so this is where a lot of those design cues came from. Sorry, excuse the burps. The whiskey is sitting perfectly.
Yeah, for context, listeners, because we've had so many audio problems and it's taken us an hour to get started properly, Tyler has begun with the drink. So he's gonna
That's
get
Tyler.
as has Abby. It's a tough week. Sorry, continue, Tyler.
So anyway, so we got that far back B pillar that sucked in that massive back window, which there isn't a picture here, but it pretty much is the C30's huge back window in this thing. You've got the like skeletonized A pillars there that have a plexiglass covering so you can see through them.
Yeah, I really love that. That's a genius idea.
Yeah, now they say that the crash structure of this car is as strong as a conventional, two-pillared roof and a rollover and in side impacts. Because you notice this car does not have a center pillar between the doors, which I don't like the doors because the best part of the C30 is just you have the perfect excuse to ditch the back seat and make a massive two-seater hatchback with all the storage.
Agreed.
But anyway, yeah, that's some of the big things on this. But this actually did bring about some features that you do see in modern cars. This has side-facing cameras to, make visible your blind spots, as well as this is where the fucking flashing brake lights started on heavy brake applications. I know it's supposed to grab your attention, but what it does to my autistic ass is I'm not looking where I need to anymore because I see flashing lights in the distance. It's a horrible safety feature. Get rid of it.
I think they had it on F1. See, my mother always had the idea, which I think is actually a good one, where instead of doing it so, it flashes, have it so, like, you have a different intensity of brightness on the brake lights depending on how harsh you're braking.
Okay, hear me out. Take your third brake light and imagine it's a loading bar across the center of the back of the car. So as it goes more to one side, that's more brake application.
See, I kind of
So if you only have a little
that.
third brake light, you're barely stopping. If it's all the third brake light, get the fuck out of the way.
I kind of appreciate that. So I think having an indicator of how much braking you're doing is also quite safe because it means the person behind you isn't going to go, crap, if you're just slowing down gently for a corner.
Yeah. So when I'm driving like a jackass, I don't have to really hit the brakes when you're just trying to hurt me.
Exactly. I just
brake.
I brake plenty, says you, Queen of the Late Breakers.
Okay, we back?
Yes, so start from
Yes.
radars. We definitely didn't have a fourth problem with, a fourth restart here with everything going wrong. Sorry, Tyler, continue with...
Radar.
It's okay. As your internet tanks, my blood alcohol skyrockets. So this has got radars like everywhere. We've got side radars for blind spots. We've got front radars to let you know when you're getting ready to use my favorite line of "I never fucking touched him into a corner, trunk that bitch." But yeah, so it's supposed to stop you from tailgating and blindly swerving over into cars. But that's not important. What we're going to start with here are the designs that just make my brain hurt. So there are no seat controls on that seat. Do you notice that?
Oh.
It's because Volvo decided you don't need to control where the seat goes.
Oh.
It's got optical sensors to tell where your eyes are. It then moves your seat to put your eyes in what they say is the best position to see, which I can say that my absolutely fucked up back will not like.
Yeah, that's
But
terrible.
Because Volvo is just not the... Oh, it gets better. Because they realize that they're going to have to put you in all kinds of random seating positions to make this work. They've made it so that once it puts it there, it automatically moves to where it thinks you need the pedals, the center console, the shifter, the steering wheel, and the gauge cluster.
Hey, you look like you're 4'11".
All of that moves automatically without your input.
Oh, God.
I am waiting to see somebody just get Final Destination squished in that seat.
But here's a genuine thing. So a lot of like eye recognition software doesn't work for people like me, the people who wear glasses. So this would genuinely have an issue where it might fold me up. That's an awful idea.
Again, also, you can't put a seat in a position that you think is comfortable because it only puts it in the position where you can see the best.
But I need to be comfortable
That
to
doesn't
drive
make any
properly.
sense.
I can see the best from
Yeah,
probably
no,
right up against the
it's
screen.
going to be Chinese restaurant chair straight up back 90 degrees or some shit. You are not going to get it comfortable. It puts it in the safest and best visible position.
Pretty close to where I put my seat, though.
No one cares. Your back's still good.
Yeah, damn you, Dalen. Some of us have got back pain from, stuff.
Falling through ceilings.
I mean, mine's just more because I'm a bitch, but, Tyler's is more valid than mine. But still.
Mine is because I'm menstruating.
I think yours is more from the fact you have a massive rack. I think that's probably where your back pain comes from, love.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Most of it's on my left arm.
It's okay. She's HR. We won't have to deal with this. So, as you can see, the back seat also moves too because Volvo decided that car seats are just useless. So we're going to make the back seats adjustable to make them safe for kids. So these are supposed to be like those seats that you don't, they reconfigure to the right height to hold a child.
I think that's actually
No
quite
one
a
cares.
good idea, to be honest, because I've seen that in some applications. I think that makes a lot of sense. I kind of
No.
appreciate that.
Hear me out. This just encourages stupid people to have kids.
I mean, everything
Anyway.
encourages stupid people to have kids. People have kids all the time.
But it
I mean-
is an electrically adjustable one, so you can change the back seat to make it, fit your kid without a car seat.
That's a good
I still
idea
just-
because I think car seats are ugly. And having spent many years wedged between car seats when my brothers were still in them because they refused to grow until they hit puberty.
You ever think about just grabbing him at head and feet and try to stretch him?
Yeah.
The thing is, if you ever work with a car seat, like a baby's car seat is a pain in the ass to use. It's really difficult to get in and out. It's difficult to work around.
Yeah.
And
My friend PJ was a week away from having his first kid, and me and him tried to put a car seat in the back of the car. Mind you, we are both mechanics. This man drives an STI swapped fucking Subaru wagon has always had just ridiculous swapped vehicles, like 240SX convertible with an SR. Yeah, we put the side. It was crooked when we put it. The kid would have died if we would have trusted our car seat application skills. It is hard. Don't have kids.
And it's really hard to work with as well. And the other thing as well, it robs so much space in the back. So I think actually having like a fold-up seat like that, especially because it means you haven't got to like worry about where you left it, which car it's in. It means you can just go clunk, up you go. There you go. There's a booster seat for you. You've always got something in a pinch. I think it's a good idea to have them.
There are cars already with inbuilt booster seats. Like BMW have been doing it since the 90s. My dad had a Mondeo with it in. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah, I think it's
You
a good
can.
thing. I think more car companies.
Yeah, I like it.
So this one also has 2 different 4-point seatbelt options for the front with a 3-point conventional belt. Now, they made extra steps to tell me this thing has 2 different sets of 4-point harness set up in the front, which Dalen is in racing. He knows. Dalen, what does a 4-point harness do?
If you only have the 4-point harness, what happens is in the event of a fronting collision, you slide out from under your straps, and generally the force gets applied about to your abdomen area and just destroys everything in there.
Now, let's say you get hit in the side impact, Dalen. What happens without your Hans device?
Your head tries to come off, essentially.
You do your best Dale Earnhardt impression ever.
I'm going to point out, by the way,
that also happens in a fronting collision too. By the way,
the main reason me and Dalen are friends is because I was given two sets of 4-point harnesses, to which Dalen, who at this point hadn't had a personal conversation with me, messaged me to say, "Hey, homie, if you use a 4-point harness, you're gonna submarine and die." So yeah, I have had the long rant from Dalen before we even knew each other about 4-point harnesses and why we shouldn't use them ever. So
me and Dalen became friends from a forum that I got kicked off of for yelling at people for mounting harnesses incorrectly.
What was it, the Mighty Car Mods forum by any
Yeah.
chance? Yep.
Who do you use the 4-point harness in a different application outside of a car?
Darling, let's not be having that conversation now. There might be kids listening to this. You should feel ashamed.
Different
like Ben. Shout out to listener Ben. You can't cook toast. Anyway.
Ben, darling, please just start doing cheese on toast on the grill. Stop microwaving your cheese, please.
I hope Ben listens to this now so he can hear his shout out.
Can we get him like a panini press?
I will mail him one if somebody can give me the address.
On his 18th birthday, we finally get him a panini. It's like, well done, son. You have become an adult now. Have a George Foreman.
Hang on, that's far too professional for us. We need to send him a slightly sketchy waffle maker instead.
Yes.
But with
I miss my waffle maker.
For context, Ben is a member of the Discord chat. You can join the Discord chat too if you join the Patreon. There you go. I did a bit of plugging there, guys. See how clever I am. Also, if you join the Patreon,
I like a bit of plugging.
Oh God, I'm trying to.
We're gonna do that at the end.
I'm just gonna do it. I'm doing it now. Screw it. We might not make it to the end. The audio recording has been very fallible so far. So
somebody do the infomercial music.
Hang on, I got one more feature before this screws up.
Go on, quick before the audio.
This thing has airbags in the cowl, so when you run over a pedestrian or a cyclist, hopefully it won't break your windshield.
That's good.
Cars, set up to hit
Windshields are
people.
expensive.
Hang on, so
I know. I just put one in this week.
Sorry, the airbag comes out.
It's external in the cowl for when you hit people.
Oh, so
it's aimed at the windshield, not at the hood.
No, I think it's aimed away from the windshield and hood so that when you hit somebody, their head doesn't hit it.
So it's kind of here.
Right in there, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wait, so it inflates an arm to try to smack them back towards the road, you think?
That's
when you hit somebody when you're drunk, it just kind of yeets them off the car so you can keep going.
See, I feel that's a slightly good idea, but also that is a big explosive. And
externally mounted.
Yeah, and we've also learned from Top Gear that if you go on a very rattly road, you can set airbags off.
Hang on, this would have been a 2001 spec airbag. Does anyone know if Volvo was using Takadas? Because that could just be a fun way to murder.
That seems like a really bad idea. Ooh. At first I thought, well, that's quite clever because obviously if you go over the body, ooh,
Well, the big problem with the Takatas was moisture causing them to become unstable and killing people or sending lots of shrapnel at them. And what's less controlled on moisture than the exterior of a car?
I was going to say, yeah, what is outside a car? Rain.
Unless you live in like a desert.
Can I also say, by the way, you know that radar brake system thing you were on about earlier?
I don't know that it actually does brakes. I think it just yells at you.
I see. So
It's 2001.
2001, Volvo were developing the tech for radar braking, and it's one of the funniest clips in the world where the test car they used
Just plowed through the target.
No, not just plowed through the target. It plowed through the designer of the system, who was the target. Because, and in fairness to him, what had happened was they let the car die, so they jump-started it, and because they jump-started it, the system hadn't turned on. So this poor man ran himself over through the longest steps. He's like in front of a big press pool. He's just flattened himself to go, hello, look at my new system. Look how great it is. Oh, I'm in hospital now.
Oh no, I'm dead.
I googled it real quick, and I don't know if they were using Takata airbags. However, 2001 to 2007, 01 to 03 S80 and S60s were recalled because of high humidity related defects.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's Takata. Thank you.
Yeah.
I rest my case. This car is trying to kill people.
I will say, so
It makes murder fun again.
the interesting thing I will say with this car, though, is I as much as I very much think it's going to put you in an accident a lot quicker, because if it's moving your seating position about, and especially imagine if it's going off where your eyes are, I got a funny feeling it might move while you're driving occasionally.
Yeah, it never made any mention that system stopped logging once you
Yeah.
got into your initial position.
So I've got a horrible
And
feeling.
I'm also assuming because the fact that there's no way I'm going to figure out these. I couldn't, by everything I read, figure out how the fuck these two 4-point harnesses work. And I don't wear a seatbelt to start with. So this is just going to encourage me not to wear a seatbelt. And I'm going to be pissed because I'm uncomfortable because the seating position is ass. So when I get thrown across the car, does it just like origami itself into a ball when it's trying to track my eyes as I'm flying out the passenger window?
The seat explodes. It just goes. It goes. Does not compute. Does not compute. Ah.
No, the seat grows legs and follows you out the window.
What if you've only got one eye? What if you're a pirate trying to drive this car? Can it figure out where you sit?
Captain Barbosa.
Okay, even better. What happens when you leave the car running and your dog hops in the the driver's seat when you run into the gas station for a pack of smokes?
It puts the dog in the perfect driving position. The dog can suddenly, it learns how to drive. It puts on a 4-point harness, it has a minor crash, and it has its neck snapped. So Abby, out of 10, how dead is Perrin from driving this car?
Right, from driving the car, he's like.
Does Perrin
a
wear
3.
glasses?
No.
Yeah.
No, Perrin doesn't.
No, he does.
No, he doesn't.
What?
Perrin doesn't wear
You-
glasses. Although
Nah.
Perrin does have an issue with his left eye, so...
That's what I was thinking of. I would give him a 3 out of 10 dead if he's driving it, but if he happens to be run over by it or near it when it's a bit damp, that's a 7.
I love the idea.
Hang on, I just realized I didn't even have to compete this week, and I got podium, which is my goal.
I absolutely love the idea of a cat falling asleep on your bonnet, and just because of some moisture, the cat gets sent to space.
Like a slightly incontinent cat falling asleep on your bonnet.
Off you go. Go join Laker. Off into space. Tell me what the stars look like.
Your cat's just been yeeted over the fence.
You know, if we're gonna put pedestrian airbags, I'm gonna need the car to yell "yeet" as it fires them.
Yeet.
Also, pillarless doors. Dumb thing. Gonna leak. Pillarless doors. Worst thing. I have 2 vehicles with pillarless doors now. Both of them leak.
If you
Yeah,
okay, never
my
mind.
Seek.
Oh,
Can I point out, the Alpha actually leaks significantly more than the MR2 does.
Yep, but I like the Alpha more.
It's kind of sad.
Do you know why? Doesn't smell like exhaust fumes and it doesn't make me deaf for 3 days.
Oh, it doesn't.
I think
Well,
Abby hates everything I own.
it's kind of hard.
No, see,
for it to
I
smell like exhaust fumes if it doesn't run.
I mean,
Yeah, well, hang on, it runs. It just doesn't. It clicks and clunks a lot as you try and drive it. I mean, so does the MR2, but it doesn't clunk as badly. Basically, I don't own anything that works.
Yeah. How is
I can say this with a straight face right now. Everything I own runs and drives and is legal.
However, your internet keeps getting struck by lightning, so
It's only happened twice in the last 30 days. We're fine.
Can I just say,
The
by
last
the way,
time was kind of expensive.
to all the viewers, Tyler, despite having his internet literally stapled to a tree outside.
No, it's next to the tree now. That one died in the last lightning strike
Okay,
again.
there we go. He's had his lightning struck by he's had his Wi-Fi struck by lightning twice, and yet Tyler somehow, with every time we record this, has the strongest connection and has the most stable Wi-Fi of all of us. And this is a consistent factor with Tyler, and I do not know how he manages it. Tree Wi-Fi apparently works really well.
It's just because Tennessee decided where they needed to spend all their money was giving everybody fiber optic internet. Even 400 foot of Ethernet cable to my random router in the woods, I'm still doing over 200 download out here. It's great.
Yeah, we picked the wrong place to live.
I mean, I'm...
You guys buy a bus. I got a parking spot for you here.
I can't.
I want a bus.
I could go for living on a bus. Anyway, sorry.
I just didn't want
Abby,
to live in America.
Abby, are we going to split the difference with your scores and put this at a 5?
No.
Because you said a 7 and a 3, depending on which position. Parran, who is...
No, a 7 and a 3 would make him still 10 out of 10 dead.
You don't add them up. You've got to add them up. Yeah, but he doesn't have... So, sorry, you're saying he's basically...
Definitely add.
What you're saying is he's had a crash, and he's gone, oh, that's not a very fortunate situation. So he's got out of this car, walked across the road, and as he's walking across the road, been, absolutely munted by another one of these cars and then sent to space.
No. He's got out of the car after the crash. He's walked around to have a look at the car in the crash, and the airbags deployed. As he's looking at it.
As soon as he gets out of the car, he slams the door because he's mad, and the front airbag just deploys, and a piece of shrapnel nails him.
Yep.
Okay, so
10 out of 10 dead.
10 out of 10. Right. Okay. Wow. Okay. Okay. Then, so I'm going to say let's move on to my concept. Now, my concept is slightly different to your guys because it wasn't actually a safety concept. It just turned out to be an incredibly unsafe idea. So what you're looking at here, and Abby, you're going to love me for this, these are the Goodyear glowing tyres. So.
Ooh. Thanks for doxing me.
You doxed yourself in the Speedy Boy episode. Also, I love the fact that this woman is stood next to her with her skirt charging up her tyre. That's fantastic. Anyway, so these are the Goodyear glowing tyres. And
wait, where is that air hose going?
That's
I'm trying to figure out.
That is a charging cable from Wright and Gather.
So is he charging that off the nylon static off her stockings, or what?
Sorry, I thought we were taking taco night to reinflate the tire. My bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Goodyear started floating the idea of these in the 50s, but they started actually making them in the 60s, and they did make them. They test them a lot. So what these are tyres that light up. So they're made of a translucent synthetic rubber called neothane, and they dye it in various colours. So you'd have white or green or red or what have you, and they'd put 18 small bulbs on the wheel, on the inside of the wheel, and what you do then is you'd be able to turn your tyres on and make them glow. Now, I'm sure we'll all agree this is sick as hell, right?
Yes. No. Maybe.
It looks cool as anything, but because it's the 50s/60s, where everyone has great ideas, but none of them work because they're dumb ideas. That neothane they made for it is part rubber and part plastic, which means it's very hard wearing. But when it rains, they have absolutely no grip whatsoever. None. So if you try and brake in the rain, it just carries on. Also, turns out they don't hold up well to heat. So if you slam on the brakes at all, it would actively melt the tyres and they would just break. They'd give up. And my other favourite thing about this as well is when they were testing these, because they did actually test these on the road, they found that so many people were staring at the glowing tyres, they actually caused other accidents outside of the car because people were looking at these glowing tyres and running red lights and causing T-bones and things like this. So obviously this was the vehicle that was causing the T-bones necessarily for Dalen's concept, the what was it, the circumference, the... Survival, that was it.
Survival 10 out of 10 pound killing machine.
Yes. So yes, technically not a safety concept, but a very unsafe, really dumb idea that I thought was worth mentioning. These are the Goodyear glowing tires, and yeah, that's tires that actively melt if you brake, do not have grip in the rain, and because they light up, they cause other people to crash.
I don't
Okay,
know
but
how
hear
I
me
feel
out. If
about
they
it.
would have put like the RGB LEDs in there, these would be the official tires of Grid Life.
Yes, they would.
Yes.
They actually would.
Like every
Gamer tires. I say this.
RGB light.
I say this as if I'm not somebody who has underglow ready to go into my car whenever I get around to installing it.
I say this as somebody who has a piece of furniture that's the back tire off an Indy car. That would be fucking dope in my living room instead of the IndyCar tire.
It would. It's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love the idea, but I don't know how the hell you change those bulbs. I imagine like you just have to take the tire off. So I don't know how the hell you. God, that must be make a nightmare of changing tires, because I'm assuming you guys have changed tires before. You know how like.
No.
Not you.
Nope,
I mean,
never.
Yeah, don't
Never
break the
happened before.
TPMS off.
So
Why would I need to change tyres?
Well, your namesake.
Yeah, nah. Well, it's not for me to do. I pay somebody else to do that.
I changed my tires on the MR2.
Okay, as somebody who used to own a tire machine, I actually sold the tire machine because I hate doing tires, and my logic was I'll just pay somebody else to do it. It sucks putting tires on.
It's surprisingly difficult.
Also, I own more than one vehicle, so I'll just take the wheels off in my shop and then throw the tires in the back of one of my other trucks. And my tire shop is in
Somebody
town,
else
and there's a
did it.
restaurant nearby that sells me food and alcohol.
That is how you do it. Or you just position yourself where you look at a flat and you think, this is a handy location if I ever get a flat tyre, because there's a tyre garage less than 100 metres away.
Yeah, you are surrounded by garages there. You've hit the mother lode.
I've hit the mother lode on garages, shops, petrol stations,
Partners.
coffee shop.
How far is the nearest dispensary, though? That's the real question.
Dispensary of what?
They don't have that here. You know this, Tyler.
You need to pick your house based
Oh.
off of proximity to dispensaries and gun shops.
How far away do you live?
That's how I.
How far away do you live to Michigan, Abby?
Oh no, if you wanted to buy a gun,
I can't tell you
or,
from
like,
experience that it's exactly like 13 hours to my favorite dispensary.
Jesus.
No, if you actually wanted to buy like shotgun pellets and things like that, it's about half a mile as the crow flies.
There's a guy right down the street that parks his truck on the side of the road and puts up a sign that says ammo for sale.
America is a cursed place in some of the best ways, but also some of the worst.
And you can buy tractors there as well.
Yeah, I love.
You guys
farm
can't
shops.
just buy tractors?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
You can buy tractors anywhere.
Oh,
You can also buy ride-on lawnmowers.
yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, interestingly,
lawnmowers.
So Subaru, when they first moved to the UK, they exclusively sold out of tractor showrooms, which is why they have they were known to be like the cars of the landed gentry, because they'd buy Subarus and then just run them for like 20 years till they died and then buy another one. So
Did not know that. So that's why Subarus don't have the lesbian stereotype here.
It's a
They have
shame.
the farmer stereotype.
It's a shame. I wouldn't mind a Subaru to be a lesbian, but I can't. And now I have to buy.
I don't think there is that stereotype,
all
Carl.
I think of when I think of Subaru is Vermont.
I don't
We don't
understand that
have-
reference.
Colorado, also.
Yeah, there are a lot there too.
Quite a few Subarus in Iowa.
That's a
I'm trying
little
to think,
shocking.
like, what
When I think
car
of
gets
Iowa,
up-
I think of like Busch Light and F-150s.
I feel like at some point we're gonna have to have a Pride episode where we just talk about what cars. Are really
Suzuki
gay.
Jimny.
Oh, I love the Jimny. The Jimny is one of the best cars ever made. I love a Jimny. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's giving me lesbian vibes.
I will take the Jimny as a lesbian
You
car.
should buy one of those and send it to me, and I will set it up to be able to tow a trailer so you can use it to tow your broken projects around.
People do that over here. It's the
Yeah.
coolest thing. Like, you see Jimny with big beefed up tires, and like it's the cutest thing in the world because it's like, I'm an off-roader too, but it's like a pug on steroids. It's fantastic.
Just wait till it comes back on a set of like Dana 80s front and rear with a Kingpin swapped front end, and I don't know.
One of my favorites is they found
LS7.
that the Jimny and Nissan Micra have the same wheelbase, so some people will actively put a Micra body over the 4x4 drivetrain of a Jimny, and it's great. Anyway, so we were off topic because that's a very proof of concept thing to do.
You can't blame me. I'm fucking hammered right now. It's great.
I'm only
You're-
like
you're
half
hammered,
cut.
You're hammered and autistic. Abby is half cut and
Half cut.
has ADHD. And me and Dalen are undiagnosed, probably somewhere along the way. It is a bad mix of things to do a concise, planned out concept.
And I'm menstruating.
You don't have to keep mentioning it, man. I don't know what
I'm
relevance
in
it has.
pain. I'm
You're
in pain.
Hey, quit shaming her for her body's natural processes, jackass.
I'm not.
I'm in pain. I'm sad. I'm lonely. My other
That
half
explains
won't
the
come and
cookie dough at
see
the beginning of
me.
the episode, though, to a
Yeah.
T.
That's why I've been eating cookie dough like it's
Anyway,
gone out of fashion.
So, Abby, your glowing tires that you've built, on a scale of 1 to 10, how dead have you made Paran from this?
I don't think Paran would buy glowing tires. That's the thing.
Would.
I don't think
Paran absolutely would. This is a very Paran would absolutely love. I'm gonna message him after this and say, Paran, would you buy glowing tires?
No,
I
he's
feel
too
like
busy with his
Goodyear,
little boring
like,
whatever he drives.
Oh,
I feel like
don't knock
Goodyear's
the
out of his
Rover.
budget.
The Rover's lovely.
Oh, I forgot they own a Rover. The Rover was not what I was referring to.
Do you mean the Starlet?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, he says like no one else understands his love of the Starlet. He doesn't even understand it. It's just his first car, so he loves it.
But also,
That's me with one of my vehicles.
I feel like Paran, the Rover is very woodsy on, dogging.
Do you know
So the
what makes-
glow-in-the-dark tyres would make sense for that purpose. So maybe he would have the Goodyear tyres for that. So maybe, but the only way I could see it killing him, it was if he accidentally slept with somebody's wife. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10 dead.
To be honest, I've driven with Paran before, and Paran is a very sensible, safe driver and doesn't necessarily brake very harshly because he gives lots of... I can't see Paran melting the tyres, and I can't see him driving that far in rain with glowing tyres. So, I got a funny feeling. I could trust Paran not to die with glowing tyres.
I feel like the only way the Goodyears are going to kill him is if he takes the Rover dogging with the Goodyears on, and that's it. He's accidentally slept with somebody's wife and he's been shotgunned.
So what are you saying? 4 out of 10?
4 out of 10 dead.
4 out of 10 dead. Okay, so that comes to the end. That means we've got the Volvo and the Circumference, I keep calling it. What was it called again?
Survival.
From now on, I'm calling it the Circumference. Up yours. I don't know why we got a white border here. As you can tell, guys, we've had a big gap from recording, and things have gone well in that gap.
Why did you tell us to dance when they can't see this? This just seems like wasted effort.
This wasn't me. Blame Abby. Abby does these. Abby is the podcast manager.
Right,
Abby's the reason I'm just sitting here dancing with nobody to watch.
The
I
safety
wasted a good line
dance.
dance.
Men
look,
without hats.
If you don't dance, then you know friends of mine.
Yes.
So Abby,
That's fine. Friends sound like people.
As the deciding vote, what is our official proof of concept law as to why we've lost Paran from our our roster?
He was T-boned.
We've now officially had...
Sir Lancelot.
What if someone T-boned him in the Sir Lancelot and in that Volvo, and therefore the airbag went off and shot all the danger glass back into the canopy?
Yes. Yes.
So that's
You know what? I'll take a tie as the win. This is my first official win of this shit, I think.
I feel like... Right.
Dale,
so
I'll cut the
this-
trophy in half and send you the other half, buddy.
Right. So my reasoning for this is that the Volvo seems like much more of an actual car that would get produced over the Sir Lancelot. So therefore,
Do you think something that you can't control the driver's seat would ever make it to production?
Exactly. Yes.
It's articulating a spinning dome.
Yeah. So I'm going to say the Volvo is the most dangerous one. And
Oh,
it's the
son of a
one
bitch, I
that
actually won.
10 out of 10 killed Dalen? Paran?
So there you go,
Dale-
guys.
No, we can't kill Dalen yet. He hasn't said anything that offensive.
Alan? Keith?
The official reason why Paran is no longer on the Concept podcast is because Paran has been killed in a horrible accident in the Volvo thingy-mabob with airbags everywhere and seats that fold you into a square. So there we
Yes.
go. I say this, Parent is perfectly well, and Parent is still a good friend of ours. And if you want more Parent, Parent is starting a new his own podcast fairly soon, which we will be shouting out in here when it happens. It's just unfortunate that the Parent just couldn't do this one anymore, which is more than fine.
I'm
Parent,
more than okay with this. We've taken the news very well, and we definitely haven't killed him off for any other reason.
I have spent 3 weeks. The real reason why we haven't been back is because I've been crying in the shower the whole time.
Yeah, my shower running up my electrical bill
It's okay. It's not like that's going up over there.
whilst listening to Barracuda by Heart on repeat.
Okay, I wouldn't listen to that if I was sad, but it is a good song.
That's all you listen to in the shower. I can tell when you're showering because that just goes on.
It comes on shuffle sometimes. Leave me alone.
Shuffle?
I've been listening
Shuffle?
to the.
That's not random.
How many songs on your playlist? 3?
Yeah.
I do sometimes repeat a song a lot. I have been listening to The World Is Not Enough by Garbage on repeat lately. That's a good song. I highly recommend it. Anyway, so
what happened to your Japanese dance music that you had on for a while?
What, Eurobeat? I've still got that. That's for my fast driving times.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it a night on this podcast now because we are going very off topic again. So sorry to everyone for the long delay in us coming back. We are going to try and be more sort of regular with these. It's just we genuinely have not had time to record at the same time because thanks to Tyler being struck by lightning a lot, me being in work all the time, and Dalen just consistently being scheduled in opposite me for some reason. This is the first time in about a month we've had any time to record, so that's
what about me?
You are
Have
always.
I not been busy?
You're the most consistent one of all of us somehow.
Yes, exactly.
And I'm the one diagnosed with inconsistency issues.
So is Tyler.
I'm sorry, but I do have my touch of the tisms. Don't worry.
Yes, same.
Anyway, so where can I find you guys if I
do
want to
like
find
a touch
you?
of the tisms, mainly Alex.
Stop touching.
Well, if they want to find me, it's Spike with the Y383 on Snapchat and Instagram. I think I nuked the rest of my social media because I don't like people.
That sounds like you, in fairness. Dalen, where can we find you?
I'm still on Instagram at Dalen_C. And I think that's still the tag I started using on Twitch when I stream very rarely, and there's some YouTube nonsense up there too that's mostly just...
Oh, fuck, I forgot I have a YouTube channel, Indiana Diesel, son of a bitch.
Abby, where can we find you?
Not near you at the moment, which is sad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can't help the fact I've been busy. I had to collect my new car.
Yeah. Well,
Hey,
you can't help it.
Gotta keep her happy first.
Exactly.
I am so nice to you all the time. Anyway, where can we find you online, Abby?
I'd prefer if people didn't. But if they can find me, then kudos to them.
Where can you find me? At my house.
God, don't challenge them. There's nothing a nerd likes more than a challenge.
Yeah, they won't ever find my Tumblr page.
And you can find me here on this YouTube channel, or in my link tree you can find various other places such as TikTok, Instagram, and Patreon. And if you do subscribe to the Patreon, here we go, I'm going to plug it. If you do subscribe to the Patreon, you do have access to our bonus episodes, which will be coming up, of Proven Concept, the spin-off podcast of this one. I'm going into my infomercial voice here. Future me, edit in infomercial music in the background here. You can also get access to the Discord server for the Alex Twinspark fan server, wherein you'll find all sorts of wacky antics with us four and also all other people. There's about, I think, how many people in the chat now? There's 30 people in the Discord server?
40.
No, there's like
40.
50 something when I looked earlier today.
We're up to about 50.
It's over 50 today. I saw.
Hey, that's cool. I have a lot of things to post out. Also, you can join the Twinspark Car Club, a new car club I'm launching, free to join in, and wherein you'll find all the details of future meets, wherein, you can meet me and see my shitboxes, one of which you guys paid for. Thanks again for buying me the alpha. And I think that's it for our plug session, so future me, if you can just...
No, what about the Alex Twinspark OnlyFans? You can't forget that one.
That I have... I'm still working on the kinks, I got that worked out. That was not a pun.
I don't think you're going to be able to use your feet.
What's wrong with my feet?
Your feet aren't attractive.
Are you?
They're very bony.
I do have very long toes, in fairness. They are.
Yeah.
I have like really mobile toes. Like I can grip things with them really easily. I'm getting very off
I'll take
topic.
you
Anyway,
back. Just
I don't know. I
want
don't.
to.
I don't know what time zone you're listening to this in. But if you oh god, this is all gone to hell. Thank you for coming back again. Sorry by the way. Hopefully we'll be back to being more regular fairly soon. At least once a month from now
We love
on.
it when you're regular.
Oh god, for God's sake. I'm
Eat
ending
your
this now.
fiber.
Yeah,
Anyway,
eat your fibre.
anyway,
Keep it regular.
thank you for listening,
Stay
everyone.
hydrated.
From everyone here, thank you very much, and good night.
Prunes.